Hello, BBN. Before the updates, how about subscribing to the channel to receive more news from the Cats? Let's go. Injuries are part of the game, but few teams in college basketball have been as affected by them as the Kentucky Wildcats in this final stretch of the season. Coach Mark Pope saw his roster disfigured by the absence of three key players: Lamont Butler, Jackson Robinson, and Kerr Kriisa. And if the loss to Texas was painful in itself, the way it happened, a collapse in the final minutes, highlights the negative impact these losses have on the team's functioning. Butler and Robinson, in particular, are losses that are hard to compensate for. The former is one of the team's leading defenders and playmakers, someone who would have made life much harder for Trey Johnson and Tramon Mark. Without him, the Texas duo found space and freedom to score 58 points. Robinson, with his size and ability to spread the floor, would certainly have been useful for a Kentucky that made just 25% of its three-point attempts, a number that looks even worse when you discount the two shots made in the final seconds of the game, with the game practically decided. Kriisa is also missed, especially on the offensive line. Without him and Butler, the team committed 13 turnovers, mistakes that cost the opponent 21 points. In the most critical moments, when Texas imposed its final 14-1 run, Kentucky seemed to have no alternative. The physical and mental fatigue was evident, and Pope acknowledged that his team simply did not execute in the final minutes. Of course, no one in the Kentucky locker room is using the injuries as an excuse. Pope, in fact, was blunt in saying that the available players were good enough to win and that the loss was a result of poor execution. But there is a difference between not accepting excuses and ignoring the real impact of the absences. With only 6 games left in the regular season, there is not much time to adjust. What does this string of injuries mean for Kentucky's future? First, the team desperately needs its injured players back. If Butler, Robinson, and Kriisa are out for an extended period, the challenges will mount. Second, the players who are on the court need to step up their game. Kobe Brea, for example, can't afford another performance like Saturday's, when he spent 35 minutes on the court and didn't make a single shot from the field. And finally, Pope will have to find tactical solutions to minimize the team's weaknesses while he doesn't have a full roster. The good news is that the NCAA selection committee takes injury into account when evaluating teams' records. That means that despite the setbacks, Kentucky is still in good standing for the tournament. It's currently projected as a number 3 seed. But to maintain that position, the Wildcats need to get back to winning ways. The upcoming game against Vanderbilt is a chance to bounce back, but if the injuries persist, the challenges will only get greater. Pope has a talented roster, but time is running out. If the losses continue and the available players do not respond adequately, the dream of a great March Madness campaign could be compromised before it even begins. Your opinion is important.